You know, Thornton Wilder's great play, Our Town, is all about a prototypical American little town that's just normal, like everywhere, a small little burg. Well, OurTownSF is a website that talks about that here in our little burg, the Castro. We'll talk to its director now, Paul Margolis. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
So, I'm good. You know, OurTownSF started as a little idea, but now it's become self-supporting. Talk to me about it.
It started off with about 58 nonprofits listed, and now it's up to 305, soon to be 306 this evening, because your last guest told me about his practice, and it sounds like a great one, and I'm happy to include it in the immigration category.
Well, you know, I do my best to find clients for you. There you go.
Thank you for that.
Well, you know, I mean, I was talking about the Thornton Wilder play. Our Town is, you know, is about just normal town, every town, USA. Do you still, after now almost, 40 years, 79, 89, 99, 2009, almost 40 years here in San Francisco, do you still see the Castro as a little town?
I do. You can walk down the street and you see a lot of the same people every single day. You see it. There's a couple I see all the time holding hands who are about my age, and I think how cute it is to see so many of the same people who are upbeat and looking forward to the next day.
So you're not jaded after almost 40 years?
I'm really not. I'm still having fun.
You said something to me before we started talking about your first days here. You said you came from Cleveland on the same plane as
Marianne Singleton.
And of course, for those of our viewers who don't know who she is, Marianne Singleton was the first character introduced to us in Armistead Maupin's iconic Tales of the City.
Yes.
Why do you say that you came on the same plane as Marianne?
Because I came here with no understanding of what really was going to be here. I came in thinking that as a young, naive, innocent individual, thinking that, oh my, what is going to be out in San Francisco? I was so excited about all of it, and it turned out to be a lot of fun.
And you were from Cleveland, just like Marianne was from Ohio. So with everything that's been going on in and around Cleveland the last few weeks, last few months, what do you think about your old hometown?
I'm excited for it. I hope that it picks up. It's gone through a lot, like San Francisco has. I hope that it picks up and gets itself out of where it's been.
Mm-hmm. And you said now Cleveland has supposedly the world's best bagel or something.
Yes, that was in today's Examiner.
You know, 1979 was quite a year in San Francisco. One of our earlier interviews was talking about how AIDS was with us in 1979, but we didn't know it. But soon thereafter we did, and the whole face of the Castro, the face of the gay community has changed. What have you seen in the course of your almost 40 years here that you think still reflects the best of the Castro, the best of San Francisco, but also some of the things that have changed that you think that's not the city I came to 4 decades ago?
I look for the comedy clubs, for the events that are taking place that raise money for people, that try to bring people up. My glass is definitely half full, and I really look for all the fun stuff, and I see a lot of it all over the place. There's so many things to do that are a lot of fun.
So you don't see, because I hear people say, oh, the Castro is not what it used to be. People aren't as nice and any of that sort of stuff. I mean, one of the reasons I've wanted to have you back on as a guest is you're one of the most relentlessly optimistic people I know, but you've had your share of trials. Do you still see San Francisco as that kind of great shining gay hope for people like you who fled Cleveland?
I still do. I still think there's a lot of hope here. The jobs pay really well. If you're lucky enough to get a decent apartment, then you can really make a killing of it and sock some money away for later on when you need it.
Mm-hmm. What were the most difficult times for you in the last 30-some years? I mean, you've been through a lot. You've founded this OurTownSF, and it's doing great. But there were some challenging times. What were the worst times for you here in the city?
While I was making my list of 175 friends who passed away between 82 and 87.
175?
Yeah. And I stopped the list in 1987 thinking it was bringing me down. That was really tough on me. And holding so many people's hands as they passed from this world, that was really tough on me. And thank God for our lesbian friends who helped us out. Thank God for AZT and everything else that came after.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the new generation of writers, community members, people who live in the 94114, have any concept of what it was like for your generation to live through those years?
I hope so.
I mean, do you want to tell them? Do you ever feel like, besides being relentlessly upbeat, which I salute, but you should like shake them up and say, do you know what it was like? Do you know how we paved the streets with, you know, our blood, sweat, and tears for you guys and gals?
There are plenty of them. I've told them all about what it was like to walk down the street and see groups of people walking down the street, all of them with KS on their face. Mm-hmm. So many of your friends who used to weigh 180, now weighing 110. It was really tough. It was really tough watching that. People just waste away in a matter of days and weeks. And I saw all that, and I'm so glad we're over that.
Do you think we are over it? I mean, we're certainly over the worst of the health crisis, but AIDS is still with us. There's people who still, well, treat it like it was a, you know, bad toothache now.
No, it's still with us. I've had HIV for 31 years myself. Mm-hmm. And it's definitely with us. We still deal with it on a daily basis. Plenty of people are still passing away. Plenty of people are still getting, they're having problems due to their medications. There's certainly a lot of side effects from these medications that we still take.
Right, what has it been? I mean, for 31 years living with HIV, how long have you been on the medications?
I'm really lucky, only since 2004.
So you, I mean, living with HIV for 31 years is, I don't know if it's a record, but it's right up there.
I know plenty of people who have made it that far, but percentage-wise, I'm really in a small percentage. I'm really lucky.
Was there ever a day that you thought that you might not be sitting here in 2016 talking to me?
Every day. Every day I thought I'd be gone, especially up through 1988. Through the 80s, I thought, oh my God, what's tomorrow? Is there going to be a tomorrow? I was thanking God for every day. Mm-hmm.
So we've only got a few moments left. Talk to me about what you said, you know, thank you for our lesbian friends and all the people who held our hands. Who were some of the people that held your hands and got you through those worst days?
Wow. There were all kinds of people. I can't, no particular names come to mind. There were just so many people who I could thank for getting me through this, relationships. But most of those people are gone. The people who helped me in the 80s, most of them are gone. Mm-hmm. My friend Stan Wong is still here, and he's as upbeat as I am. And he volunteers for AIDS Emergency Fund. I see him all the time volunteering for them and for other agencies. I see other of my friends, but most of them have melted into the woodwork. But some of us have stuck around, and we're still volunteering, and we're still helping out as best we can.
Well, and that brings me to probably the best possible wrap-up for my interview with you, which is that is the reason behind OurTownSF. It's relentlessly upbeat. It's about organizations and people that help the community. Talk to me about what you think that does that other websites and news sources don't do.
I go to events and I take photos very different from the rest of the photographers that you see out there. Mine are all about trying to get people to engage in our community and know about all the good things that are going on here, because there's plenty of good things. And to know that, yes, you can go to an athletic event one day and the next day go to a drag show and the next day go to a fundraiser. And all these are good. Go out there and have fun. Enjoy yourself. You know, there's so many options of things to go to. I went to Healing Waters whitewater rafting last weekend. It was a lot of fun. There's just and it's a fundraiser, and they're doing great things for people with HIV. I have 50 organizations under my HIV category. I have 29 athletic organizations. I have plenty of arts organizations who would love to hear from you and have you join in and have fun at their events.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for being one of those people who sees the glass as half full. As the person said in Bridge of Sighs, are you worried? He says, would it help? So negativity doesn't help. Thanks, Paul.
Exactly. Thank you.
We've been speaking with Paul Margolis of OurTownSF, a person who definitely believes, like I do, the glass can always be half full. Thanks for watching. I'm David Perry. We'll see you next week.